I wanted to find out how to remedy my winter blues, so I did some research. And while I was doing it, I found a few patterns that will hopefully help cure these winter blues. Tip number 1, exercise. This one came up in my research more than any other tip. I'll admit I don't exercise regularly, and the snow and ice outside are seriously discouraging, so making this a priority will probably be helpful but also painful. According to the Canadian Mental Health Association, exercise is good for relieving stress, building energy, and promoting mental well-being. Apparently, even a 15-minute walk can produce neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which are important for your mood. And numbers vary between studies, but one Harvard study found that exercising 60 minutes 3 days a week or 35 minutes 5 days a week can relieve symptoms of moderate to mild depression. Tip number 2, don't go wild with the junk food. Yes, another difficult but probably helpful step in improving your mental well-being. Studies have shown that diet and mental health go hand in hand. And although sugar provides a temporary euphoria, and I know it does, one study from 2012 is just one of many to link refined sugars and processed foods to depression. It found that eating more fast food and commercial baked goods can increase risk of depression by up to 38%. And since a study from 2007 found that rats were more addicted to sugar than cocaine, this might be a tough but necessary one to beat. Avoiding or cutting down on greasy refined foods like pizza is key. I am not a nutritionist, but my research found that what you put in your body is a big deal. Okay, so bear with me. Replace those refined carbs with complex carbs. Since complex carbs take longer to digest, they don't cause those spikes that mess with your mood the way refined carbs do. As a plus, vegetables, fruit, protein, healthy fats, those are all good for boosting serotonin, which again is that neurotransmitter that's really important for regulating your mood. Tip number 3, get the supplements that you might be missing in your food. That includes things like omega-3s or vitamin D, which is also really hard to get in the winter months when there's like no sun out. Omega-3s are believed to have this antidepressant effect by improving blood and brain cell functions. And usually fish are the go-tos for these, but since I'm vegan, I'm gonna opt for walnuts and flax seeds. Vitamin D improves the mood by boosting the immune system and lending to optimum blood sugar. Not having enough vitamin D can lead to fatigue, inconsistent moods, and even depression. Again, fatty fish like tuna or salmon are usually good for this, but if you're vegetarian, cheese or egg yolks will do the trick, and if you're vegan like me, then products just fortified with vitamin D, like soy milk or just some straight up vitamin D supplements will be your friends during these literal dark days. Tip number 4. I feel like this is a big one, and it's the one I'm most excited for, and that's to do things that give you a sense of accomplishment. A mix of big and small goals seem to be key here. My research emphasized making lists of achievable tasks that you can just cross off when you're done. It could be something as simple as vacuuming your carpet or organizing your room, but bigger goals are great too. One psychological theory says that achieving any goal can provide a burst of dopamine, which increases motivation. And having low dopamine is a lot of what the winter blues are about. Feeling bored, like nothing really matters, all that jazz. So crossing off something from my to-do list or my bucket list might alleviate these symptoms of winter blues. Tip number 5, another goodie. Surround yourself with good company. I feel like this is hard to do during the school year because I feel like I just don't have the time, but it's important to prioritize. One Harvard study found that people who associate themselves with positive-minded people tend to be happier. And I know a lot of positive people, so I'm just gonna put in that extra effort to make sure that I spend some time with them. Tip number 6, another good one, but as challenging as ever. Get enough sleep, specifically quality sleep. According to the Canadian Mental Health Association, there are a lot of logical reasons why not getting enough sleep can worsen your mood and make you feel downer than the cold and darkness already make you. For example, if you don't get enough sleep, you might wake up feeling tired, sluggish, uninspired, And you can't bring your best self to work or school, your relationships, because you're having a hard time concentrating or making decisions. On the other hand, if you do get enough sleep, you can practice self-care doing things like exercise or painting, whatever makes you feel fulfilled, happy, or relaxed. That might also mean putting your phone away so that you don't accidentally spend hours texting or mindlessly scrolling on social media. But of course, there's science to back why sleep is important too. An associate professor at the University of Washington says sleep affects the parts of the brain that are used to manage emotions, the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. So not getting enough sleep could lead to fatigue that makes it difficult to control your emotions and perpetuates feelings of negativity. In his book, Why We Sleep, Matthew Walker says a lack of sleep can make it difficult for people to put situations into the context of the bigger picture. That leads to more reactionary and less thoughtful emotions, which can also make it pretty easy to get in this cycle of feeling like garbage all winter. Some of these tips are challenging, but I'm gonna take small steps towards incorporating them into my life. First, I'll work towards doing more exercise to relieve stress, build energy, and get more of those feel-good neurotransmitters in my brain. Then I'm gonna go easy on the junk food, which has been linked to depression, and try to get more whole, complex carbs like fruit and legumes. I'll also make sure to get more omega-3s into my diet to combat feelings of depression, and take vitamin D supplements since there's not much sun to help combat feelings of fatigue, inconsistent moods, and depression. Apart from food, I'm gonna make lists with achievable tasks that I can just cross off when they're done. It'll include a mix of big and small goals, which will create more dopamine. I'm also gonna work towards being in good company more often, seeing my friends maybe like once a week or at least once a month. It's all relative, but you do what you can. Lastly, I'm gonna work towards getting adequate sleep every night, whether that means putting my phone away so that I don't waste time on it, or finding other ways to be productive so that I have enough time to get sleep every night. Like I mentioned, keeping your goals realistic is necessary, and improving your overall well-being is especially necessary during these trying months. If you feel like you're experiencing depression or you may have seasonal affective disorder, speaking to a doctor could be in your best interest so that they could get some solid treatments to help you. But using these tips can pretty much help anyone's well-being to some degree. So now that you've got these tips, good luck out there. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, make sure to hit like and subscribe to see more videos from Postable. I'll see you guys next time.